What's up guys, Lon here from Android Authority, and today I want to talk a little bit about the Galaxy Watch. This was announced alongside the Galaxy Note 9, and the Galaxy Watch is basically the successor to the Gear S3, but they're sort of ditching the Gear branding and just calling it the Galaxy Watch, which I felt like was just a matter of time because the phones are called Galaxies, the tablets are called Galaxies, so it sort of made sense that the watch was going to be using the Galaxy branding. But full disclosure, before we dive into the review, I'm not typically a smartwatch or wearables person. I don't really wear fitness trackers, even though I go to the gym pretty regularly, and I haven't worn a smartwatch since like the original LG watch. So I won't be able to really draw very many comparisons with this watch to another smartwatch or wearable and tell you if this does anything better or worse than another product. But what I will be able to tell you is my experiences with this watch and all of the things that it can do and whether I think it does those things well, because this watch can do a ton of different things. So I kind of consider the Galaxy Watch the Swiss Army knife of smartwatches. It's a watch that tries to do a little bit of everything. It tries to be a smartwatch, and it also tries to be a fitness/health tracker, and it also tries to look good while doing it. And I would say that 90% of the execution is done extremely well, and then the other 10% is not so good, but we'll get to that 10% a little bit later. One of the things I think Samsung has done really well with over the last couple of years is the design of their smartwatches. The Galaxy Watch looks like a normal watch, and if you saw this from a distance, you probably wouldn't assume that it was a smartwatch. And it's also very elegant and classy. It's made of metal, so it feels very high quality like a watch should. And I have the larger 46mm version in silver, but there is a smaller 42mm version that comes in rose gold and midnight black if you want a couple extra color options and you want a watch that isn't quite so big. But I don't have the largest wrist in the world, but I don't mind the 46mm version at all. I actually like this size better. I think it fits me pretty well. And the watch bands that come on the Galaxy Watch are made of silicone, which are very durable and sweat resistant and water resistant. But obviously it's not gonna fit every single outfit that you wear. It's definitely not gonna fit very well with formal attire, but it does take a standard 22mm watch strap, so it's pretty easy to swap out with any band of your choice. There's also two buttons on the side. The top button functions as your back button, and the bottom button functions as your home button. The rotating bezel, of course, is the signature feature of a Samsung smartwatch, and it's just as intuitive as ever on the Galaxy Watch. It's a lot of fun to play with. The metal clicks that you get when you rotate the bezel around are extremely satisfying, and obviously it's a very intuitive and natural feeling way of navigating the interface. If you opt for the larger 46mm version, you have a 1.3-inch AMOLED display, and the smaller 42mm version has a slightly smaller screen at 1.2 inches, but they both have the same 360 by 360 resolution, and the screen looks great. It's very vibrant, very colorful as you expect from an AMOLED display, and you get those inky deep blacks as well. And personally, I think every smartwatch should have an AMOLED display, not only just for its battery saving properties, but also because it makes watch faces that have black backgrounds look a lot cleaner. If you care about specs, the Galaxy Watch comes with an Exynos processor inside and 768 megabytes of RAM on the Bluetooth version and 1.5 gigabytes of RAM on the LTE edition. All the models have 4 gigabytes of internal storage. About roughly half of that is actually usable space, which isn't a ton, but it's enough for applications and maybe a few songs and photos if you want to put those on your watch. There's also a built-in altimeter and barometer for gauging atmospheric pressure and altitude. The watch also has the heart rate sensor underneath. And new to the Galaxy Watch is the ability to monitor your stress levels with the heart rate sensor. And if the watch senses that you are stressed out, it will actually have you do breathing exercises, which hasn't happened to me because I don't really get stressed out all that often, but it's kind of a nice feature to have, and you can actually manually trigger the breathing exercises if you want. The watch is also IP68 water resistant, which is great, so you can take it in the pool, you can take it in the shower, and it'll be perfectly fine. Just make sure you use the silicone watch bands if you're gonna do that. And it's also military 810G certified, which basically means it's extremely durable against things like drops, high temperatures, and other elements. One of the things that I think people might be disappointed about is the Galaxy Watch doesn't have MST, which was a feature that was available on the Gear S3. And MST was a method where you could make mobile payment transactions, and you can still make mobile payments through the Galaxy Watch with Samsung Pay, but it only does it now with NFC, which means the Galaxy Watch is not going to be able to be used at every single payment terminal that you go to, which is a little bit disappointing because that was one of the main benefits of using Samsung Pay, is that you had that MST functionality and you're able to use your device at pretty much any terminal, but that's not going to be the case with the Galaxy Watch. The Galaxy Watch is running on Tizen 4.0, and if you've used Tizen on like the Gear S3 or the Gear Sport, it's a very familiar experience. It hasn't really changed all that much, and I like Tizen a lot. It's very colorful, it's very fluid, the animations all look really nice. It's a very clean interface for a smartwatch, and it works extremely well here on the Galaxy Watch. One of the newest additions though to Tizen is the addition of Bixby, which basically replaces S-Voice. But if you didn't like Bixby on Samsung's smartphones, you're gonna like it even less on the Galaxy Watch. It's been completely unreliable 90% of the time. Majority of the time, it doesn't even answer the question that I ask it. Even simple questions like what's the weather, it fails to answer those. And even a lot of the recommended questions that it tells you to ask, it wouldn't even answer those questions either. So I don't know what's wrong with Bixby on the Galaxy Watch. Hopefully Samsung can address it with a software update, but for right now, it just does not really work at all. My favorite thing about the Galaxy Watch is probably its health and fitness tracking capabilities. It can track a total of 39 different workouts, and 6 of those can be done automatically, like walking, cycling, and running. It can also track your sleep automatically as well, and I felt like the sleep tracking on here was actually pretty accurate. I felt like the numbers were spot on, and I like that it told me how efficient my sleep actually was. Now, you're probably wondering if this watch is even comfortable to wear to bed, and in comparison to like a fitness band, it's definitely a lot bigger and a lot heavier, but I was pleasantly surprised that this wasn't a problem to sleep with. Once I was asleep, I didn't really notice it. But I will say that if you're wearing this watch for pretty much the entire day, you're probably not gonna wanna wear it to bed because it does start to weigh you down after a while. So that's just something to keep in mind with this watch. When I go to the gym, I prefer to mostly lift weights. So I liked a lot of the weightlifting exercises that are on this watch, but it does track a bunch of cardio workouts as well. But it can't track every single type of weightlifting exercise, obviously, but it does track a lot of the main ones like bench press, shoulder press, lateral raises, arm curls, etc. All of that is available on the watch, and it'll actually track your sets and also your reps, and it'll count the reps out loud for you so you don't have to count them yourself. With everything that the Galaxy Watch can do, it's very important that this watch lasts a long time on a single charge, especially if you plan on wearing this watch to sleep. And the 46mm version has a 472 milliamp hour battery, which Samsung quotes will last the watch up to 7 days. And I haven't exactly gotten 7 days. I've been getting more along the lines of 4 days, but that really isn't that bad, especially for a watch that can do so much, and that pretty much equates to charging the watch twice a week. And the charging process is really simple. You just slap it on the wireless charger that comes in the box and you are good to go. So if you want to pick up the Galaxy Watch, it's going to start at $349.99 for the 46mm and $329.99 for the 42mm. This is the pricing for the Bluetooth only model. The LTE versions are going to be a little bit more expensive, and the price is going to vary from carrier to carrier. But this is pretty fair pricing. It's also very competitive to the Apple Watch, which is probably Samsung's biggest competition. And overall, I think this is a really solid smartwatch. It functions really well as a smartwatch, and it also functions extremely well as a fitness tracker. So if you're looking for a all-in-one smartwatch, if you will, I think the Galaxy Watch is a very good option. I would highly recommend it. So check it out. And that's pretty much going to do it for this review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Check us out on social media. And of course, check out the website as well, AndroidAuthority.com, because we are your source for all things Android.